Okay, we're going to look at lesson 1.9, which is our multiplying and dividing of integers. And one thing I want you to be aware of is what a negative actually means. A negative actually indicates the opposite of. That's the mathematical meaning of a negative. So when you're multiplying, I know you learned way back when I'm multiplying like this problem, -2 times -3, that first number is the number that you have, and the second number is the number of groups you need. So if you were going ahead and showing me this, a negative, you know, is our closed one, so I would have 1, 2 negatives. And if that was a 3, you would need 3 groups of those 2 negatives. The only thing is that you can see right here, we have a negative with that 3. It's not just saying 3 groups. It's saying the opposite of 3 groups, which means those negatives that we had in these groups aren't going to be negative anymore. They're actually turning to positives. This is actually flipping that first sign to its opposite. So it is 2, positive 2, and 3 groups of those positive 2's, which gives me an answer of a positive 6. So let's look at this one again. The next one says 3 times -2. Well, this is definitely a positive. That would be 3, and I need 2 groups of them. But notice there's a negative with that, which means I need to change that to the opposite of. And it's going to turn those into 3 negatives, and then I need 2 groups of those negatives. So it is actually turning this into its opposite. On that third one here, that -6 times 2, well, that is a -6, -6, but it does not have that negative. This is just a positive, so it's not turning it to the opposite. It stays that negative, so I need 2 groups of that -6, which will give me -12, which I forgot to put my answer over here. When we turn that into a negative, it became a -6. So really what I'm trying to tell you is that negative means the opposite of. And I know some teachers give you those little rules of 2 negatives make a positive, or 2 positives is a positive. And then I've even seen this nice triangle with our positive on top and our 2 negatives on the bottom. And teachers have said, oh, well, you know what? If I have a positive and a negative, cover up 1 positive, cover up 1 negative. Oh, look at that. I have a negative left, which means my answer is a negative. Or I've seen oh, well, I have 2 negatives, so cover up the negative and cover up the negative. And, well, look at that. I only have 1 positive left. So my answer is positive. I want you to know that these are helpful hints. These are not mathematical explanations. And we're going to be going over that in class. Looking at what you're going to be doing on our worksheets, though, is showing me that you understand the rules. And that is right here, that if the signs are the same when you're multiplying or dividing, your answer will be a positive. If your answers or signs are different, then your answer will be a negative. So let's go ahead and look at this problem A. I have a positive and I have a negative. Those are definitely different signs, which means I know before I do any mathematical calculation, my answer will be a negative. Once I know if my answer is going to be a positive or negative, well then I'm going to go ahead and multiply or divide to get my answer. What is 5 times 8? 40. So my answer of 5 times negative 8 is negative 40. Let's look at this next one. For B, first thing I want to know, is my answer going to be positive or negative? Look at the signs. I can see they are both negative. So since they are both negative, it is going to give me a positive result. Now you don't have to put that little plus sign there for positive, but I'm going to remind myself. And now I'm just going to go ahead and divide. 45 divided by 9, or 9 times what is 45? I'm hoping you would then tell me 5. So my overall answer would be positive 5. We'll do a few more in class, but let's look at example 2. And I hope you notice that on your work today, I'm telling you that you do not need to show work for numbers 1 to 4. I want you to mentally use those rules. But for 5 to 8, I absolutely want you to show me work. And that's because I'm asking you to simplify. And we are going to be using everything we've kind of done all the way through lesson 1.9. We're going to use our order of operations and our integer rules to actually solve our problems. So when I look at this right now, I'm hoping you would tell me to do my parentheses first. But I'm also hoping that you notice that there's a subtraction sign inside here. And we know that that really means to add the opposite. So this is really 9 times 8 plus negative 20. Now while I'm going ahead and doing those parentheses, I'm hoping you also remember that, yes, I've got more negatives than positives, so my answer will be a negative. My signs are on opposite sides of the number line, so that means that I need to subtract to get negative 12. So 8 plus negative 20 is negative 12. And then all I have to do is multiply that. Now, using my integer rules, I can see I have a positive and I have a negative, which means my answer will be a negative result. Now just multiply those things together, 9 times 12, and you would get 108, which would be my answer. And we will do another one of these examples in class today, but make sure you have completed your notes. I will see you soon.